Lauri Markkanen is unreal. After basically being let go a couple seasons back by the Chicago Bulls, so far early on into the season this year, Lauri is having by far the best season of his career, and he's honestly playing like a superstar. At the beginning of the season, there were a bunch of questions about how sustainable this great play from Lauri could be, but as the season has been progressing, not only is Lauri keeping up that level of play, but he's honestly getting better with time, which is just crazy. But quickly, before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports. I make opinionative NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Lauri Markkanen was drafted with the number 7 overall selection during the 2017 NBA draft by the Chicago Bulls. And originally when Lauri was getting drafted, he was getting a ton of comparisons to Kristaps Porzingis. There were a ton of similarities between the two. Lauri had a really good 3-point jump shot, he had a really nice ability to put the ball on the floor, he was very mobile, especially for his position, and overall a lot of people thought that Lauri could be a very similar player to KP. Maybe not necessarily as good right away as KP was, but a similar build. And early on into his rookie season, although he didn't play exactly like KP, he definitely had similar tendencies and he played really well in his rookie season. In Lauri's rookie season, he averaged 15 points per game on 43% shooting from the field, 7.5 rebounds on 1.2 assists. Now those numbers are really good, especially considering he was a rookie and the expectations for him weren't necessarily the highest. And after his really good rookie season, a lot of Bulls fans were very excited to see what Lauri can do going forward long term. And in his second season, he improved significantly, averaging almost 19 points per game on 43% shooting from the field, 9 rebounds on 1.4 assists. That season, Lauri did a really nice job at just working on his game during the offseason and basically improving every single aspect of it. I would probably say the biggest difference between year 1 and year 2 was he just refined a lot of different aspects of his game. In year 1, he was more so of a catch and shoot 3-point jump shooter, and in year 2 he certainly still had that ability and he did it at a pretty high level, but in year 2 he also had a nice ability to create for himself a little bit. He had a nice ability to put the ball on the floor and drive by whatever defender was guarding him with his great mobility and athleticism, and once he got all the way to the basket, he used that great athleticism to either push rise players or finish around them with crafty layups. But Lauri also did a nice job at improving that post turnaround fadeaway, improving his post game as a whole, and overall I would say he just looked a lot more refined that season. Now besides his individual scoring ability, I would say Lauri improved in some other aspects as well, like his defense slightly, but also his overall basketball IQ. In his second season, it seemed like Lauri knew where to be out there on the court a little bit more, and overall he just knew where his teammates were out there in the court. Now obviously Lauri isn't a good passer and playmaker back then, and still at this point he's not, but he definitely had a nice understanding of where his players were going to be out there, and it certainly made his teammates' lives easier. But unfortunately, after his great 2018 season, during his 2019 season, his numbers dropped significantly, mostly due to injuries, but also some other factors as well. But during 2019, Lauri averaged 15 points per game on 42% shooting from the field, 6.3 rebounds on 1.5 assists. Now obviously those numbers are still pretty good, but when you consider where he was in year 1 and especially the improvement he made in year 2, it certainly was a huge disappointment. It seemed like overall in 2019, Lauri could never get his footing under him. He just never really found a rhythm, and it really hindered him throughout the entire season. And unfortunately for him, things just got worse from there. During 2020, his numbers went down again, averaging 13 points per game on 48% shooting from the field, 5.3 rebounds on 0.9 assists. And after that 2020 season, the Bulls decided to move on from Lauri Markkanen, a player who had a ton of promise early on in his first 2 seasons, but unfortunately due to injuries and some other factors, really struggled significantly following those 2 seasons. And during the 2021 season, he moved on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that season, I would say he put up pretty good numbers, averaging almost 15 points per game on 44% shooting from the field, 5.7 rebounds on 1.3 assists. Now, of course, he wasn't putting up those same numbers that he was putting up in year 2 and even in year 1, but he was playing pretty well, and it certainly was nice to see that after he moved on from the Chicago Bulls. But after only 1 season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Utah Jazz decided to trade Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland, and Lauri was included in that deal. And at the time of the trade, Lauri was seen as a talented young player, but his value certainly diminished significantly after his first 2 seasons. So at the time, people weren't necessarily sure what the Utah Jazz were really getting with this guy. But so far into the season, the Jazz have gotten an absolute superstar. So far this season, Lauri is averaging almost 25 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, 8.7 rebounds on 1.8 assists. Just incredible, phenomenal numbers, and it's especially surprising to see considering he was really falling off the past 2 or 3 seasons. And this season, Lauri is doing a ton of things that he did well during his second season, but he's even gotten significantly better in them. He does a great job at spreading the floor and hitting those catch and shoot 3-point jump shots, as he is shooting an incredible 42% from 3, but he's also doing a really nice job at creating for himself as well, playing in the pick and roll offense, the pick and pop offense, and overall Lauri Markkanen just looks like a very complete and very talented young scorer. Now Lauri has also improved other aspects of his game as well, like his rebounding ability, his defense, his passing and playmaking ability. Although it is still somewhat limited, he has certainly improved upon that, and overall Lauri just looks like an incredible player at this point. But the question is, what changed for Lauri? Why is he so much better now than he was over the past couple seasons? Well, in my opinion, I do think a change of scenery alone is a significant factor for a player that lost his confidence. And it was pretty clear that in Chicago, Lauri did lose his confidence. So the fact that he was able to move on from the Chicago Bulls, that alone I thought would make him a better player, and it certainly has been, as he certainly played better in Cleveland. But ever since he got to the Utah Jazz, something really changed. In my opinion, I think all the hard work that he's put in throughout his career really started to pay dividends this season, but also he's a main focal point in Utah. On previous teams, he was more so of the second and maybe even third guy, and in Cleveland he wasn't even that. But the fact that he is the main player in Utah really helped him out in my opinion, and really unlocked his abilities. And the fact that he is able to play the pick and pop and pick and roll offense really well with a guy in Colin Sexton also had a great effect on him, and in my opinion, I think those are the reasons for why he's playing so well this year. Now throughout the rest of this season, I do expect Lauri to continue to play like the way he has been, and maybe even improve. And if the Jazz do make the playoffs, I do expect him to play really well there as well. Now going forward long term, I honestly don't think this is a fluke season for Lauri. I think he's going to continue to play at this level, or maybe even get better with time. And overall going forward long term, I'm just very excited to see what Lauri can do, because I think Lauri has an incredibly bright future, but also in turn the Utah Jazz have a bright future as well, due to the fact that obviously they have Lauri Markkanen on the roster alongside with other guys like Colin Sexton, who's been playing really well. But also the main reason for why I think the Jazz are going to have so much success going forward long term is due to the amount of draft picks they have. I thought they did a tremendous job in both the Donovan Mitchell, but also especially the Rudy Gobert trades, in getting some nice young players in return, but mostly getting all those draft picks that they ended up getting. But I guess only time will tell what does end up happening with not only Lauri Markkanen, but also the Utah Jazz. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Lauri Markkanen could turn into a superstar in the future, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these 2 videos popping up now. And until the next time, peace out guys.